Alright, so just got done watching UFC Fight Night Blades versus Aspinall. And what a fight card, man. What a fight card. What a very interesting fight card. Of course, if you guys watched the whole thing and you saw the main event, you know exactly how that ended. If you haven't watched the whole entire fight card, there will be spoilers in the video. Do not watch the video. I will try to remember not to put spoilers in the title. I know I always do that. I will try to remember not to do that. But man, just what a weird card. It seems like stuff like this just keeps happening over and over again these days. Just last week, the same exact thing happened. Of course, I'm talking about an injury. But before we get to that, let's go right ahead and start with I'm going to start with the fight Volkan Oezdemir versus Paul Craig. I was really looking forward to this fight. I was looking forward to this fight because, I said before that this is pretty much your classic striker versus grappler matchup. Of course, Volkan being the striker, Paul Craig being the grappler. And the most interesting thing about Paul Craig is he will pull guard from any position, and he will gladly pull you into top mount. He's so confident in his ability to work from bottom position that he doesn't really care what bottom position he's in. He doesn't care if he's in bottom side control, half guard, even full mount. He believes that as long as the fight is happening on the ground, he has the advantage. And you notice that. That's what he was doing against Volkan. He was just consistently trying to drag the fight to the ground. He would shoot a takedown, and rather than drive forward to secure the takedown, he would actually fall backwards. And occasionally, he would try to fall right into single leg X. From single leg X, of course, he has access to a few leg locks. He's got access to your classic straight ankle lock, which he was trying to do. But then he was going from that to lock in a Senkaku. From Senkaku, he's trying to get like a regular heel hook. But Volkan was doing a very good job of keeping his knee line, from keeping his legs safe. I'm not going to try to go into too much technical detail about it, but he was doing a very good job of rolling out of the submission, keeping the legs safe, fighting the hand that connects to actually crank on the heel hook. And he was also very patient on the feet, which I personally appreciated. He respected Paul Craig's grappling. He didn't shy away from it too much. There was situations where they were on the ground and he was actually trying to do ground and pound against Paul Craig, but he had enough respect for it to not like fall head first into a triangle or something. So Volkan Oezdemir, as you guys can see right there, defeats Paul Craig, unanimous decision, 30-27 on all scorecards. I thought it was a well-deserved win. He was the one that was pushing the pace. He was the one that was pretty much doing the most damage. Meanwhile, Paul Craig was just trying to drag the fight to the ground. Now, I will say about this fight, always happens, always interesting when it happens. What we generally see is the grappler's striking actually gets elevated because his opponent is afraid or there's threat of the grappling. And then for the striker's grappling actually improves because the grappler is afraid or has threat of the striker. So both fighters got elevated a little bit in the areas of fighting that they're not very well known for. And I always find that interesting to see. So yeah, Volkan Oezdemir defeats Paul Craig. Really, really good win. Personally, really enjoyed that one. And then we move on to Molly McCann. Molly McCann versus Hannah Goldie. Of course, Molly, just like Patty Pimblett, is one of the fighters on this fight card that a lot of people were really, really looking forward to seeing. She's very close to Patty. They're pretty much inseparable. And going into this fight, there was a lot of high expectations for her, especially because of how her last fight ended. In her last fight, she got a beautiful, beautiful finish. It was a spinning elbow, John Jones-style spinning elbow, flattened the opponent. And anytime you end a fight in emphatic fashion like that, people start to expect it. They're like, okay, this dude or this lady is exciting. The way they end fights is always like very spectacular. This is now what we know them for. And so they start like to expect you to do the same thing in every single fight. And so going into this fight, in my opinion, I felt like she had all the pressure. And my God, did she deliver. She absolutely delivered. As you guys can see right there, she defeated Hannah Goldie via TKO. I know you guys probably want me to start playing some of these videos, but I'm not going to. I do not want copyright bullshit from the UFC. But she defeated her at 353 of the first round. It was I believe it was a right hand, rocked Hannah, pinned her against the cage, actually landed a beautiful spinning elbow while her opponent was against the cage, and then classic teed off with a barrage of hooks, Vanderlei Silva style, knocked her down and finished her in turtle. So really, really good fight. Of course, after she won, she jumped off the cage, ran to the crowd. The whole entire crowd roared in excitement. Everybody was happy that she got the win. And really good performance. She really lit the whole entire place up. She really did. And then we move on to the next fight. Next fight being Alexander Gustafsson versus Nikita Krylov. We talked about this fight briefly. I talked about how Alexander Gustafsson right now is on a downward spiral in his career, man. Of course, he lost to John Jones, and then he got submitted by Anthony Smith. Also got submitted by Fabricio Verdum. So he was actually 3 losses in a row before this fight. And, you know, Gustafsson's back was really, really against the wall in this one. He really needed to come out and show the world that that he's not done. But that is definitely not what happened in this fight, man. Nikita Krylov came out guns blazing. He came out with such aggression. He came out almost like he had no conditioning, almost like he didn't believe he could go 3 rounds, like he needed to finish the fight in round number 1. And I think what he was doing was, I think he was taking a page out of the book of Anthony Johnson. I think they watched the Anthony Johnson fight, and they looked at the way that Anthony Johnson fought Alexander Gustafsson, and they picked up some things from that. Of course, it was the overhand rights. It was the barrage of punches. It was not giving Gustafsson any respect whatsoever. A lot of people come in, they respect his movement, they respect his boxing acumen. And a lot of times people are like a little bit nervous fighting Gus. They let him move around the octagon a little bit too much. Anthony Johnson did the complete opposite. Walked in, just blasted Gustafsson, took him out. And that is the same exact thing that Nikita Krylov did in this fight. As you can see right there, Gus got clipped and dropped in the opening seconds of the bout. And while he was still dazed, a quick clinch appeared to settle him down. When the two broke, Krylov kept the heat on, and after dropping the Sweden native again, his follow-up barrage forced referee Mark Goddard to stop the fight at 107 of the first round. So he sat him down. He dropped him the first time with an overhand. It was a beautiful overhand. Gus, still a little bit dazed, just got blasted, man. A barrage of shots took him out. It was pretty sad seeing Alexander fall like that. Right now, he's 18-8, man. This is a guy that a lot of people believed was the real champion after that first John Jones fight. A dude who almost beat DC. Really, almost beat DC. And to see him in this state right now, it's just like a huge bummer. If you're a fan of the Mauler, I understand how this must feel. God, I need some goddamn water. Moving on, of course, is the fight that a lot of people really, really looking forward to, and that is Paddy Pimblett versus Jordan Leavitt. Now, this fight, I think one of the most memorable aspects of the fight, well, before the fight, is both of them talking about what they're going to do. Jordan is always known for winning fights and then pretty much twerking on the opponent. That's his thing, his celebration. He wins, he twerks. And so in one of the interviews, they were asking Jordan, "Hey man, if you win the fight, are you gonna twerk on Paddy?" And he was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna finish him. I think he said he's gonna KO him in the first round, and then he's gonna twerk on him." And then they asked Paddy himself, like, "If you win, are you gonna twerk on Jordan?" And Paddy said something along the lines of, "No, I'm not gonna twerk on him. I'm gonna teabag him, Call of Duty style." If you got, we all know exactly what a teabag is. And so going into this fight, in a weird way, there was a lot of tension. Like, ooh, oh shit, is somebody gonna get twerked on? Is somebody gonna get teabagged? Who's gonna get teabagged? Who's gonna get twerked on? And I personally, I'll be honest with you guys, I mean, I was really looking forward to this one just to see if one of them is gonna get teabagged or it's childish as all hell. It is so childish, but whatever. I don't give a shit. It was entertaining the whole way through. Fight starts off. Jordan is doing everything in his power to try to outgrapple Paddy Pimblett. You know, there was a clear understanding that Paddy definitely was the better striker, has more power. And then everyone's saying that Jordan himself is deceptively strong. And he was trying to use that in the fight, pinning Paddy against the cage. Occasionally he would get a Kazushi, trip him, get him, get his butt to the ground. But then getting Paddy's back to the mat was always difficult for Jordan, because if you look at the way cage grappling works, look at someone like Khabib, they break down the opponent bit by bit, right? They break you down to your knees, they break you down to one hip, they break you down to your butt, they break you down to the back, then your legs gets tied up, then your arms gets tied up, then the ground and pound begins. It's a systematic breakdown. You look at someone like Khabib, the way he does it, it's very, very systematic. And so Leavitt was actually able to occasionally break him down to a knee, break him down to a hip, break him down to a butt. But actually completing the full grounding was really tough for him. Occasionally, he would kind of almost get Paddy's back, but Paddy would get on both on his knees and hands, use the cage to wall walk back up to his feet. And round number one, at some point, Paddy took his back. Actually, before that, there was a sequence where Paddy actually got him in a guillotine. It was a almost fully locked in guillotine. Jordan was defending well. Occasionally, he will throw the arm over the shoulder, defending the correct way, trying to jump over to the other side. And so Paddy wasn't actually able to fully lock that thing in. But his defense, to me, just seemed really suspect. And I made a tweet about that where I was saying, man, his defense to these submissions just seems a little bit suspect. And of course, round number two, weirdness, weird scramble. Paddy takes his back again, but this time he starts using the straight jacket system where you trap one of the opponent's arms, so now they only have one arm to defend against the choke. And then with that, you trap that free arm, they have to defend the choke. And of course, the neck is wide open. If you can completely nullify both of your opponent's arms, then of course, they can't defend the chokes, in all the regular ways you defend the choke. And that's what Paddy did, man. Locked down both of his arms, one with his leg, the other with the other arm, and got a beautiful rear naked choke in round number two. So it was a really, really, really good fight. Really good performance for Paddy Pimblett. Of course, the crowd goes wide. Now, if you're asking, did he teabag Jordan? Yeah, he did. He did. Jordan saw it coming, so he kind of got out the way, but he definitely saw the teabag coming. And Paddy was able to get a little bit of it in. I'm pretty sure there are memes all over the internet right now of that. If you guys want to go search it, you can easily find it. But really, really good performance, man. Solid work by Paddy. Again, currently 3-0 in the UFC. He is definitely proven that he's for real, man. Everybody that said whatever they said about him, he is for sure proven that he is for real. Moving on to the co-main event. Jack Hermansson versus Chris Curtis. Of course, Jack Hermansson was initially scheduled to face... why am I forgetting this man's name? Darren Till. He was initially scheduled to face Darren Till, but the fight fell off, and so Chris Curtis stepped in on short notice. So we have to definitely acknowledge that fact. Darren Till was injured, couldn't fight. Chris Curtis, short notice replacement, so we have to acknowledge that. He did not have enough time to train for the fight. So that could be a big reason why he performed the way he did. Going in, of course, everybody expected the better striker was going to be Chris. The better grappler was going to be Jack Hermansson. But what we saw was that Jack Hermansson ended up being the better striker. He had very good footwork, moved around the octagon very well, used his jabs, his crosses really, really well, was mixing body kicks and leg kicks. I'm talking leg kicks from both legs, from the rear leg, from the lead leg, body kicks from both legs as well. Just really, really good striking, very safe striking. He had a lot of respect for the striking of Chris, to the point that Chris was just getting really frustrated. At some points, he would almost command Jack to step in the, to step to the middle, to not move his feet. Like, bro, let's do this in the middle right here. But Jack wasn't, he wasn't falling for all that shit. He stuck with his game plan. He did try to take Chris down multiple times, but of course, Chris had really solid hips, sprawling really, really well, backing up very well, defending those takedowns very well. And so Jack had to definitely depend on his striking to win the fight, and he did. Won the fight, unanimous decision, 29-28 across, one judge gave him a 30-27. And after the win, he was apologetic. He understands that it wasn't the most exciting thing in the world to watch, but a win's a win in the UFC, man. A win is a win, and he did what he had to. Next up, this is the one that I believe is going to grind a lot of people's gears, because this is the fight everybody was waiting for, man. This is the fight that everybody was waiting for, and that is Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blaydes. Curtis Blaydes has been making a lot of improvement to his game, specifically his striking. We all know him as a wrestler, as a grappler, as someone that wants to take the fight to the ground. Tom Aspinall, on his side, we also know him as a very good submission artist, especially for the heavyweight division. Fast, explosive, athletic, powerful, really good footwork, really good striking. Young guy. And once again, they fed a young guy, to Curtis Blaydes, a young up-and-comer, to test him against Curtis Blaydes. Curtis is proven to be the guy that gets to test the new dog in the UFC. And so the expectation was that, it was at the very least, it was going to be a very good fight. A lot of people were picking Tom Aspinall to win. And then when the fight started, as you can see right there, a knee injury suffered by Tom Aspinall brought an unfortunate and premature finish to his UFC Fight Night main event with Curtis Blaydes, with a clash of heavyweight contenders ending in the first round. What happened? Well, fight started off. Tom Aspinall starts off aggressive as all hell. Forward movement, leg kicks out the ass, jab cross, left hook cross, just fighting really, really aggressive. He actually started to fight off with a jumping knee to the body of Curtis Blaydes, almost like he was expecting to pull off a Jorge Masvidal. Curtis Blaydes, definitely known as a grappler. His initial instinct is going to be to try to shoot a takedown. And, of course, we saw what happened to him when he fought Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis timing that uppercut. He tries to shoot, boom, uppercut, flat out. And so I think that's what Tom was going for. Stepping into the octagon, he believed, if I pressure this guy, his reaction, his natural reaction, is going to be to duck his head and try to shoot. But luckily for Curtis Blaydes, he's been working on his striking, and that natural reaction, he's slowly working that out of his game. He's now improving on other aspects, very important aspects of MMA, which is your kickboxing. And so Curtis did not level change, thank God, because that knee would have been brutal. Curtis was responding very, very well, too, to the aggression. Very fast himself, matching the pace. He just, warmed up. He was going, responding to the leg kicks with jabs, with crosses, which is exactly how you respond to leg kicks. And then in one of the leg kicks, after Tom landed the leg kick and he went to step back, he took a step back, landed wrong, fell back, screaming, holding his right knee, and that's it. Fight over. 15 seconds, fight was done. At the moment, we don't really know what happened. A lot of people are saying it's maybe an ACL tear, MCL injury, whatever, I don't know. But whatever it was enough that Tom was not able to continue to fight. And so the referee called it off. Doctors show up. They wrap up Tom Aspinall, take him out of there with his legs wrapped up. Really disappointing, man. That fight looked good, bro. The fight looked like it was going to be a banger. It looked like it was going to be one of those fights that one of them was gonna get stopped. You know, they were both matching the pace. Curtis matching Tom, the pace that Tom set. It just looked good, man. It didn't even look like Curtis was getting close to shooting. The man was ready to strike. He was throwing hands, throwing kicks of his own, moving very well. It's just a mess, man. Such a mess. Very, very disappointing. Same shit happened last week with Brian Ortega against Yair Rodriguez. Same sort of injury. I don't know what's going on, you know, and it's always the main event. The one everybody is waiting for just gets ruined. But yeah, that is it. We'll see what happens. I think this is a fight that's probably going to end up getting rescheduled. I think it's going to get rescheduled. Maybe we might even see it on the same fight card as Yair Rodriguez versus Brian Ortega. You know, wouldn't that be poetic? Anyways, that is it for this fight card. Hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. Hope you guys enjoyed the fight card as well. Let me know in the comment section what you guys thought about it. Did you enjoy the fights? Which was your favorite? And I will see you guys later with a brand new one. As always, stay safe. Peace out. Have a good night, boys.